According to a 2024 published NEA Today article by Anaya Green Santos, as of 2024, corporal punishment is legal in 17 states and practiced in 14. An additional 6 other states have not expressly prohibited it. This is not okay. Corporal punishment is unethical and should not be allowed in schools. I have extensively researched the laws and effects of corporal punishment and how we can help fight against it in schools. This is important because corporal punishment can have lasting effects on a child. It is harmful psychologically and physically. In this speech, I will discuss the laws on corporal punishment in schools, its effects on children, and how we can fight to stop it. First, I will review the laws on corporal punishments in schools. In some states, corporal punishment is still very much legal. Corporal punishment in school was deemed constitutional, therefore it is not a federal law, but up to each individual state. Christina Caron explains in a 2019 New York Times article that corporal punishment remains legal because of the Supreme Court ruling in Ingrid versus Wright, which was 41 years old at the time of this article, which is now 47 years old. Let me give you some background on how the Ingrid versus Wright case reached the Supreme Court. According to a 2024 Encyclopedia Britannica article by Joseph Uluwal, James Ingrid was an 8th grade student attending a Florida public school in 1970. Ingrid and his friend Andrew Roosevelt were victims of corporal punishment. Ingrid was spanked with the paddle more than 20 times by his principal, Willie J. Wright, while being held down by his assistant principal, Lemmy Dilliford, and the principal's assistant. This led to Ingrid needing to require medical attention. In 1971, on Ingrid and Roosevelt's behalf, a complaint was filed. In a 2024 Encyclopedia Britannica article, Joseph Uluwal writes, "The complaint claimed that the practice of corporal punishment in public schools violates both the Eighth Amendment's ban on cruel and unusual punishment and the 14th Amendment's guarantee to procedural due process." This claim was dismissed by a district court and agreed upon by a court of appeals, which led to the case being brought to the Supreme Court in November 1979. It was later ruled on April 19, 1977, with a 5-4 vote in favor that the Eighth Amendment does not prevent corporal punishment in schools. The Supreme Court ruled that the Eighth Amendment's cruel and unusual clause did not apply in corporal punishment in schools, but rather to convicted criminals. That being said, the states get to choose whether to allow corporal punishment. According to a letter written by Miguel Cardona, the U.S. Secretary of Education, to policymakers and administrators in 2023, corporal punishment is either expressly allowed or not expressly prohibited in schools in 23 states. 16 of the 23 states expressly allow the use of corporal punishment. These states are Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Wyoming. While the other 7 don't expressly allow corporal punishment in schools, they do not prohibit it either. Those states are Colorado, Connecticut, Kansas, Indiana, Maine, New Hampshire, and South Dakota. Again, according to a letter written by Miguel Cardona, the U.S. Secretary of Education, to policymakers and administrators in 2023, there are 27 states where corporal punishment in school is prohibited. Those states are Alaska, California, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, and 12 others. New Mexico was the most recent to prohibit corporal punishment in 2011. Now that we have discussed the laws prohibiting or allowing corporal punishment in schools, let's discuss its effect on children. Corporal punishment leaves a lasting negative effect on children. Regularly participating in corporal punishment as a child can lead to psychological problems as an adult. According to a 2013 National Institute of Health article written by Elizabeth T. Gershoff, in a series of meta-analysis, spanking was associated with increase in mental health problems in childhood and adulthood. Delinquent behavior in childhood and criminal behavior in adulthood. This shows how much of a negative effect corporal punishment can have on a child's life. In a 2013 National Institute Health article written by in a 2016 National Institutes of Health article written by Elizabeth T. Gershoff and Sarah A. Font, it states the more children receive corporal punishment, the more they are likely to be aggressive and to misbehave over time. This can also be true physically. Corporal punishment can have a negative effect on a child's health. In a 2013 Western Kentucky University news article written by Mustafa Zakmak, it states researchers found that more than 34,000 U.S. adults in a government health studies, those who said they were harshly disciplined as a child had slightly higher risk of obesity, arthritis, and heart disease. The same article also writes, overall, meaning the adults who reported harsh punishment, rates of obesity was higher compared to the adults who reported no harsh physical punishment, about 31% versus 26%. They also had higher rates of arthritis, 22.5% versus 20%. This shows that corporal punishment also affects a child's health in the future. Now that we know the damaging effects of corporal punishment, what can we do to stop it? We need to work together to put a stop to corporal punishment in America. One way to end corporal punishment in schools is to advocate for alternatives. We must encourage nonviolent, age-appropriate behavioral strategies that are an alternative to corporal punishment, such as timeouts, positive reinforcement, reward systems, natural consequences, and more. Another way we can help end corporal punishment in schools is to support organizations such as that are working to do so, such as End Corporal Punishment, which works to end all corporal punishment worldwide. According to the website, you can support them by adding your name to the growing list of organizations and individuals supporting the universal people who prohibit corporal punishment of children, which is free to do. You can also support them by following them on social media. Another organization that you can support is the U.S. Alliance to End the Hitting of Children. They are a non-profit that works towards the end of corporal punishment. You can support them by becoming an ambassador for only $2.50 a month or $25 annually. For those who can't or don't want to donate, another way to help is to sign petitions. It's so easy to find petitions to sign. I just searched Ending Corporal Punishment in Schools petitions on Google, and tons popped up. Some examples of petitions that showed up are petitions called End Corporal Punishment in Schools and a petition called Protect Students, Ban Corporal Punishment in Schools. You may be wondering, how do petitions work? Petitions work by raising awareness and in other ways, such as showing that this is something people actually care about. And people actually care about. According to a 2021 Eco-Justice article, petitions help by raising awareness and signaling public opinion to decision makers, influencing their decisions, helping organizations gain supporters, and identifying people who may want to get involved on an issue. So those are the laws on the use of corporal punishment in schools, the effects corporal punishment has on children, and how we can help to stop corporal punishment in schools. Schools should be a safe place where Schools should be a place where children feel safe, not a place where they are hit for making mistakes. That being said, I urge you to find an online petition and sign it. It doesn't take any money, just a few moments of your time. Thank you for listening.